Aisha's cancer was also in remission, which meant the treatments had worked, and she was getting healthy again. Her beautiful black hair had grown back even longer and shinier than before. Aisha still visited the hospital once a month to teach art classes to the children who were currently receiving treatment. The special fund that Prince William and Princess Kate had created was making life better for every child who came to the hospital. 3 therapy dogs now visited the ward every day. The dogs were specially trained to comfort sick children, and they had become the most popular visitors at the hospital. Professional art teachers came to the hospital twice a week to work with the children. Music therapists brought instruments and taught the kids how to write songs about their feelings. The children loved these activities, and the doctors noticed that kids who participated in art and music therapy seemed to heal faster and feel happier. The video connection system that had been set up for the royal visit had become a permanent part of the hospital. Children from St. Mary's now had regular video calls with sick kids from hospitals around the world. They shared stories, supported each other, and created group art projects together. The giant painting that all the children had created during the royal visit was now displayed in the main lobby of the hospital. Every person who entered the building could see the beautiful artwork that showed hope and friendship connecting children across the globe. The painting reminded everyone that no child had to face illness alone. Sarah Jenkins, the head nurse, had been recognized as Nurse of the Year by the British Healthcare Association. She said that the royal visit had inspired her entire team to work even harder to make the hospital a place of healing and hope. Sarah had also written a book about her experiences caring for sick children, and all the money from the book went to the hospital. The most amazing change was in the atmosphere of the entire children's ward. Before the royal visit, the ward had felt heavy with sadness and worry. Now it was filled with laughter, hope, and the sound of children playing and creating art together. New patients who arrived at the hospital could feel the positive energy as soon as they walked through the doors. Dear Patricia Wells, the hospital director, said that the royal visit had transformed not just the children's ward but the entire hospital. Staff members were more motivated, patients were more hopeful, and families felt more supported. The visit had reminded everyone that healing involved more than just medicine. It required love, kindness, and human connection. Prince William and Princess Kate had kept every single promise they made that day. They stayed in touch with Emma, James, and Aisha through emails and phone calls. They continued to support the hospital fund and visited twice more during the following year. Most importantly, they had proven that one day of genuine caring could create positive changes that lasted forever. The legacy of that perfect afternoon would continue to spread hope and healing for many years to come. Kate promised to send updates about the special fund and the new programs that would be starting at the hospital. She said she wanted the parents to know that their children had made a real difference in the world just by being brave and kind during their visit. The royal couple also made promises to the hospital staff. They promised to recommend St. Mary's Hospital to other people who wanted to support children's health care. They said they would tell everyone about the amazing work that Sarah Jenkins and all the nurses and doctors were doing. Before they left, Prince William and Princess Kate signed a special book that would stay in the hospital forever. They wrote messages thanking the children for teaching them about courage and hope. They promised that this visit had changed their lives and made them better people. As the royal couple prepared to leave, everyone knew that these promises were real and would be kept. Part 9. The Legacy of One Perfect Day. 6 months after the royal visit, the effects of that one amazing afternoon were still spreading throughout St. Mary's Hospital and far beyond. The children and families who had been touched by Prince William and Princess Kate's kindness discovered that the visit had changed their lives in ways they never could have imagined. Emma Martinez had kept her promise to Princess Kate and finished writing her princess story. The story was now 20 pages long and filled with beautiful adventures about Princess Violet, who helped sick children around the world. When Emma sent the story to Kate, the princess was so impressed that she arranged for it to be illustrated by a famous artist. The completed book was called Princess Violet and the Magic of Hope. Princess Kate made sure that all the money from selling the book would go to cancer research for children. Emma was so proud to be a real published author at only 8 years old. Her book was now in hospitals and libraries around the world, helping other sick children feel brave. Emma was also getting much better. Her cancer treatments were working and her hair was starting to grow back. She still wore her pink knitted hat sometimes, but now it was because she liked how it looked, not because she felt embarrassed. Emma had started a blog where she wrote stories for other children in hospitals, and thousands of kids read her writing every week. James Thompson had kept his promise to Prince William too. Just 4 months after the royal visit, James ran his first race using his artificial leg. He called Prince William right after the race to tell him about finishing in 3rd place. William was so excited that he invited James and his family to visit him at Kensington Palace. James had become an inspiration to other children who needed artificial limbs. He started a support group at the hospital where he taught other kids how to use their new arms and legs. James had also begun training for the Paralympic Games, and his coaches said he had a real chance of winning medals someday. James' younger sister Lucy was doing much better too. She no longer felt left out or worried about her brother. Lucy had learned that being a supportive sister was just as important as being the patient. She had started helping other siblings of sick children and was known as the best little helper in the hospital. Aisha Patel had blossomed into a confident young artist. The art supplies that Princess Kate sent her had helped Aisha create the most beautiful paintings she had ever made. True to her promise, Kate had arranged for Aisha's artwork to be displayed in a real art gallery in London. The gallery show was called Young Artists' Big Dreams, and Aisha's paintings were the most popular pieces in the entire exhibition. People came from all over the city to see the artwork created by the shy girl who had met Princess Kate. Aisha had decided that she wanted to become an art therapist so she could help other sick children express their feelings through drawing and painting. When all the painting was finished, the children held up their canvases to show each other through the video call. Each piece was beautiful on its own, but together they created the most amazing artwork any of them had ever seen. The painting showed that hope and friendship could connect people, no matter how far apart they were. The video call lasted for 2 hours and none of the children wanted it to end. Royal Hearts. As the afternoon began to come to an end, Prince William and Princess Kate gathered all the children together for one final surprise. They had decided to make personal promises to each child that went far beyond what anyone expected from a royal visit. These were not just polite words, but real commitments from their hearts. Princess Kate sat down next to Emma and took out a beautiful piece of paper with the royal seal at the top. She wrote down her personal email address and gave it to Emma. Kate promised that she truly wanted to read the rest of Emma's princess story when it was finished. She said she would write back with her thoughts and ideas about the story. Emma could not believe that a real princess wanted to be her pen pal. Kate explained that she loved reading stories written by children because they were always full of imagination and hope. She told Emma that her story about the princess in the cloud castle was one of the most creative stories she had ever heard. Kate also promised Emma that she would ask some of her friends who were real authors to read Emma's story too. She said that if Emma wanted to become a writer someday, Kate would help her learn about how books get published. Emma hugged Kate tightly and promised to finish her story as soon as possible. Prince William walked over to James, who was sitting proudly in his wheelchair. William wrote his personal phone number on a piece of paper and handed it to James. He told James to call him the very first time he ran a race with his artificial leg. William said he wanted to hear all about how fast James could run and how it felt to compete again. James was amazed that Prince William really wanted to stay friends with him. William explained that he had met many brave people during his years as a rescue pilot, but James was one of the most courageous people he had ever encountered. William said that James' positive attitude and determination inspired him to be a better person. William also promised James that he would help him connect with Paralympic athletes who use artificial limbs. He said these athletes could teach James special techniques for running and playing sports. William told James that he believed James could accomplish anything he set his mind to do. Princess Kate spent extra time with quiet Aisha. She promised to send Aisha a package filled with professional art supplies, including paints, brushes, and special paper for drawing. Kate said she wanted Aisha to keep creating beautiful artwork because it brought joy to everyone who saw it. Kate also promised to arrange for Aisha's drawings to be displayed in an art gallery show for young artists. She said that people needed to see Aisha's talent and that her artwork could inspire other children who were going through difficult times. Aisha whispered that she had always dreamed of having her art in a real gallery. But the biggest surprise came when Prince William and Princess Kate announced that they were creating a special fund for the entire children's ward. This fund would pay for regular visits from therapy dogs who could comfort the children. It would also bring in art teachers and music therapists to work with the kids every week. The royal couple promised that they would personally make sure the fund had enough money to continue for many years. They said that every child who came to the ward would benefit from these special programs. Kate explained that art and music and animal therapy could help children heal faster and feel happier during their treatments. Prince William and Princess Kate also spent time talking to all the parents who had been watching the visit. They thanked the mothers and fathers for being so strong during their children's illnesses. Kate told the parents that she could not imagine how difficult it must be to watch their children suffer and still stay positive and hopeful. William promised the parents that he and Kate would never forget about the children they had met. He said they would think about Emma, James, Aisha, and all the other children often and pray for their recovery. William gave each parent his personal contact information in case they ever needed help or support. Aisha felt like she was living in one of her own fairy tale drawings when the royal visit ended. Surprise that nobody expected. Just when everyone thought the royal visit could not get any more amazing, Prince William and Princess Kate had one more surprise planned. They asked all the children who were feeling well enough to come to the main conference room on the 4th floor. Sarah Jenkins and the other nurses helped Emma, James, and Aisha get to the conference room along with 6 other children from the ward. When the children arrived at the conference room, they saw something incredible. There was a huge television screen set up at the front of the room with cameras and microphones. Technical people were busy connecting wires and testing equipment. The children had no idea what was happening, but they were very excited to find out. Princess Kate explained that she had arranged for a very special video call. She said they were going to connect with children from hospitals in other countries around the world. The children in London were going to meet sick children from Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa, all at the same time. Within a few minutes, the big screen came to life. Suddenly, the conference room was filled with the faces of children from hospitals thousands of miles away. There was a boy from Toronto who was wearing a hockey jersey. A girl from Sydney was holding a stuffed kangaroo. Children from Auckland were waving small New Zealand flags. Kids from Cape Town were wearing colorful traditional clothing. All the children on the screen were wearing crowns made from construction paper and aluminum foil. They had made them specially for this video call with the London children. Emma, James, and Aisha could not believe they were talking to children from so many different countries all at once. A 13-year-old girl from Sydney named Sophie was holding a guitar. Sophie had lost her right arm to bone cancer, but she had learned to play guitar with just her left hand. She told everyone that she wanted to lead them all in singing a special song. Sophie said the song was called "You Are My Sunshine," and it always made her feel better when she was scared or sad. Sophie started playing her guitar and singing in a beautiful, clear voice. One by one, all the children from different countries joined in singing. The children in the London conference room sang along too. Soon parents and hospital staff from all over the world were singing together through the video connection. Emma was singing louder than she had sung in months. James was clapping his hands and swaying to the music. Even shy Aisha was singing softly with a big smile on her face. The song seemed to connect all the children across the oceans and make them feel like they were part of one big family. When the song ended, all the children started talking to each other at the same time. They asked questions about what it was like to live in different countries. The children from Canada told them about snow and ice hockey. The kids from Australia talked about beaches and surfing. Everyone wanted to know about each other's treatments and how they were feeling. Princess Kate had also arranged for local art teachers to bring supplies to each hospital. She announced that all the children were going to work together to create one giant painting. Each hospital would paint part of the picture, and then they would combine all the pieces into one amazing artwork. The art teachers gave each group of children a large canvas and lots of colorful paints and brushes. Kate explained that the theme of the painting was hope and friendship. She said each group could paint whatever made them think of those words. The children in London decided to paint a rainbow with children holding hands underneath it. Emma painted a princess with a magic wand spreading sparkles across the sky. James painted children playing different sports together. Aisha painted a beautiful castle where all children could come to feel safe and happy. On the video screen, they could see children from other countries painting their parts of the group artwork. The kids from Canada painted snow-covered mountains with the sun shining brightly above them. The children from Australia painted an ocean with dolphins jumping through the waves. Everyone was working together even though they were so far apart. Prince William told all the children that they were creating something that would help other sick children for many years to come. He said the painting would be displayed in hospitals around the world to remind other children that they are not alone in their fights against illness. 12-year-old Aisha Patel was the shyest child in the entire hospital ward. She had been too nervous to go to the playroom like the other children, so she stayed in her own room. Aisha was lying in her bed wearing her best blue dress with tiny flowers on it. Her father had brought the dress from home that morning just for this special visit. Aisha had lost all her beautiful long black hair because of the chemotherapy treatments. She felt embarrassed about how she looked without her hair. Her mother had given her a soft pink scarf to wear on her head, but Aisha still felt different from other girls her age. She was afraid that the prince and princess would think she looked strange. The walls of Aisha's room were covered with drawings that she had made during her long days in the hospital. There were pictures of castles with tall towers and flags flying in the wind. Some drawings showed princesses in flowing dresses dancing in gardens full of flowers. Other pictures had princes on white horses riding through magical forests. When Prince William and Princess Kate entered Aisha's room, she pulled her blanket up to her chin and looked down at her hands. She was too shy to look directly at them. But Kate had a special way of making nervous children feel comfortable. She walked slowly to Aisha's bedside and spoke in a very gentle voice. Princess Kate told Aisha that she had noticed all the beautiful artwork on the walls. Kate said she had never seen such amazing drawings by someone so young. She asked Aisha if she could look at the pictures more closely. Aisha nodded but still did not look up from her hands. Kate spent several minutes examining each drawing very carefully. She asked Aisha about the different colors she had used and how she had learned to draw such detailed castles. Kate said that Aisha's artwork reminded her of the illustrations in her favorite fairy tale books when she was a little girl. Prince William sat in the chair next to Aisha's bed. He told Aisha that he lived in a real castle, and her drawings looked exactly like the rooms in his home. William said that Aisha was a very talented artist, and her pictures made him feel happy just by looking at them. Slowly, Aisha began to feel more comfortable. She looked up at Prince William and Princess Kate for the first time. Kate smiled at her, and Aisha thought she was the most beautiful woman she had ever seen. Aisha whispered very quietly that she had always wondered what it would be like to meet a real princess. Kate asked Aisha what she thought princesses did all day. Aisha said she imagined that they wore beautiful dresses and helped people who needed kindness. Kate told Aisha that she was exactly right. She said that the most important part of being a princess was caring about other people and trying to make the world a better place. Aisha gathered up her courage and asked Kate if she ever wore a crown or tiara. Kate laughed softly and said that she only wore tiaras for very special occasions like weddings or important ceremonies. Most of the time she dressed just like other mothers and did normal things like grocery shopping and taking her children to school. Then Kate had a wonderful idea. She carefully removed her pearl earrings and held them out to Aisha. Kate asked if Aisha would like to try wearing them just for a few minutes. Aisha's eyes grew wide with amazement. She could not believe that a real princess wanted to share her jewelry. Kate gently placed the pearl earrings on Aisha's ears. The pearls were smooth and cool against her skin. Aisha's mother held up a small mirror so Aisha could see how she looked. When Aisha saw herself wearing real princess jewelry, she gasped with delight and touched the earrings very carefully. Prince William told Aisha that in his opinion she was more beautiful than any princess he had ever met. He said that her kind heart and artistic talent made her truly special. William explained that real beauty came from being a good person, not from having fancy clothes or jewelry. Aisha's grandmother was sitting quietly in a corner of the room. She had flown all the way from India to take care of Aisha during her treatments. The grandmother started crying happy tears as she watched her granddaughter smile for the first time in weeks. She had been so worried that Aisha was losing hope. Princess Kate asked Aisha about her family in India. Aisha told Kate about her cousins and the beautiful temple near her grandmother's house. Kate listened to every word and asked questions about Indian festivals and traditions. Aisha felt proud to share her culture with a real princess. Before they left, Kate promised to send Aisha a special package with art supplies and paper so she could keep creating beautiful pictures. Kate said she would love to see more of Aisha's artwork when she was feeling better. She asked Aisha to draw a picture of her family in India so Kate could learn more about her heritage. James Thompson had been waiting in the hospital playroom for what felt like forever. He was sitting in his wheelchair next to the big window that looked out over the city. James had been practicing all morning how he would show Prince William his new artificial leg. He wanted everything to be perfect when the prince arrived. The playroom was full of colorful toys and games, but James was too nervous to play with anything. His physical therapist, Miss Jenny, was sitting nearby ready to help him when the royal visitors came. James kept looking at the door every few seconds, hoping to see Prince William walk through it. When Prince William and Princess Kate finally entered the playroom, James felt his heart beating very fast. Prince William was even taller than James had expected, and he looked very strong and important. But when William smiled at James, all his nervousness went away, because the prince had the kindest eyes James had ever seen. James rolled his wheelchair forward to meet them. He had been practicing this moment in his head all morning. James told Prince William that he had heard about his job as a helicopter pilot and rescue worker. James said that was the coolest job in the whole world, and he thought Prince William was like a real-life superhero. Prince William laughed and said that James was the real superhero. He had heard about how brave James had been during all his operations and treatments. William asked James about his new artificial leg and said he would love to see how it worked if James was comfortable showing him. James had been waiting for this exact moment. With help from Miss Jenny, he moved from his wheelchair to the parallel bars that helped him practice walking. James showed Prince William how the artificial leg attached to what was left of his real leg. He explained that it took a lot of practice to learn how to balance and walk with it. Prince William was amazed at how well James could walk with his new leg. He asked James lots of questions about how the leg was made and how it felt to wear it. James felt so proud to be able to teach a real prince about something important. He had worried that people would feel sorry for him, but Prince William treated him like he was the most interesting person in the world. James decided to show off a little bit. He let go of the parallel bars and took 5 steps all by himself without holding onto anything. Prince William clapped his hands and said that was the most impressive thing he had seen all day. James felt like he could do anything in that moment. Princess Kate was sitting on the floor playing with James' younger sister, Lucy. Lucy was only 5 years old, and she had been having a hard time understanding why her big brother was sick. Sometimes Lucy felt left out because everyone paid so much attention to James and his treatments. Kate helped Lucy build a castle out of colorful blocks while they talked. Lucy told Kate that she missed playing with James the way they used to before he got sick. Kate listened carefully and told Lucy that being a good sister was one of the most important jobs anyone could have. She said that James was lucky to have someone who loved him as much as Lucy did. Lucy asked Kate if she had any brothers or sisters. Kate told Lucy about her own brother and sister and how they always helped each other when things got difficult. Kate said that family love was the strongest kind of love in the whole world, and it could help people get through anything. Prince William asked James what he wanted to do when he got older. James said he wanted to help other kids who had to get artificial legs or arms. He wanted to show them that they could still do amazing things and live happy lives. William said that sounded like the most important job anyone could ever have. James asked Prince William if he thought he could still play sports with his artificial leg. William told James that there were amazing athletes all over the world who used artificial limbs and won medals in competitions. He said that James' determination and positive attitude would help him accomplish anything he set his mind to. Before they left, Prince William gave James his personal phone number written on a piece of paper. He told James to call him when he ran his first race with his new leg. James could not believe that a real prince wanted to stay friends with him. He promised William that he would work extra hard in his physical therapy so he could run that race as soon as possible. James felt like the luckiest boy in the world when Prince William and Princess Kate said goodbye to him. Emma Martinez was the first child that Prince William and Princess Kate visited. Emma was sitting up in her hospital bed wearing her favorite unicorn pajamas and her pink knitted hat. She had been waiting for this moment all morning, but now that it was really happening, she felt very shy and nervous. Princess Kate walked into Emma's room first with the biggest smile Emma had ever seen. Kate was even more beautiful than Emma had imagined. Her blue dress looked like something a fairy tale princess would wear. Kate sat down in the chair next to Emma's bed and spoke in the sweetest voice Emma had ever heard. Kate noticed all the princess dolls that were lined up on Emma's bedside table. There were 7 dolls in different colored dresses. Each doll had long, beautiful hair and tiny crowns on their heads. Kate picked up one of the dolls very carefully and asked Emma what the princess' name was. Emma had been so quiet for weeks that everyone was worried she might not talk at all. But when Princess Kate asked about her dolls, something magical happened. Emma forgot all about being shy and started telling Kate about each princess doll. She explained that the one in the pink dress was Princess Rose, who could talk to animals. The one in the green dress was Princess Emerald, who could make flowers grow anywhere. Prince William came into the room and sat down on the other side of Emma's bed. He listened carefully as Emma told them about Princess Diamond, who could fly through the clouds, and Princess Ruby, who could make rainbows appear in the sky. William asked Emma which princess was her favorite, and Emma pointed to the one in the purple dress. Emma explained that Princess Violet was special because she was the bravest of all the princesses. Princess Violet fought dragons and saved people who were in trouble. Emma said that Princess Violet never gave up even when things got really scary or difficult. Kate and William looked at each other and smiled because they could see that Emma was just as brave as her favorite princess. Kate asked Emma if she liked to tell stories about her princesses. Emma nodded her head and reached for a notebook that was hidden under her pillow. She told Kate that she had been writing her own princess story, but she was too embarrassed to show it to anyone. Kate gently asked if Emma would be willing to share just a little bit of her story. Emma opened her notebook to the first page. Her handwriting was a little shaky because the medicine made her hands tremble sometimes, but her story was absolutely wonderful. She had written about a princess who lived in a castle made of clouds. The princess had a magic wand that could heal sick animals and make sad people happy again. Prince William said that Emma's story sounded better than any book he had ever read. He asked Emma if she wanted to be a writer when she grew up. Emma smiled and said she wanted to write stories that would make other sick children feel brave and hopeful, just like her princess stories made her feel. Princess Kate had an idea. She asked Emma if she would like to finish writing her story and send it to her at the palace. Kate promised that she would read every single word and write back to Emma with her thoughts about the story. Emma could not believe that a real princess wanted to read her writing. Emma's mother, Maria, was standing in the corner of the room crying happy tears. She had not seen Emma this excited or talkative in months. The cancer treatments had made Emma very tired and sad, but now she looked like her old self again. Her eyes were bright, and she was using her hands to act out parts of her princess stories. Kate noticed that Emma kept touching her pink hat. Kate gently asked Emma about the hat, and Emma explained that her grandmother had knitted it for her when her hair started falling out. Emma said she felt prettier when she wore the hat because it covered her bald head. Princess Kate told Emma that she was the most beautiful girl she had ever met with or without the hat. She said that Emma's bravery and kind heart made her more beautiful than any hair or crown ever could. Kate asked Emma if she would like to try on her pearl earrings just for fun. Emma gasped with excitement as Kate carefully placed the pearl earrings on her ears. Emma looked in the small mirror next to her bed and could not believe what she saw. She looked like a real princess wearing real royal jewelry. For the first time in months, Emma felt truly special and beautiful. The visit lasted 30 minutes, but it felt like the most magical 30 minutes of Emma's entire life. At exactly 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 black cars pulled up in front of Stameri's hospital. The cars looked very important and shiny. People walking on the street stopped to look and wonder who was inside. Some hospital workers pressed their faces against the windows to get a better view of what was happening outside. The first car door opened, and out stepped Prince William. He was wearing a dark blue suit and a white shirt with a blue tie. He looked just like the pictures in the magazines, but even more handsome in real life. Prince William had a warm smile on his face and kind eyes that made everyone feel comfortable right away. Princess Kate stepped out of the second car, and she looked absolutely beautiful. She was wearing a soft blue dress that matched the color of her eyes. Her long brown hair was perfectly styled, and she wore simple pearl earrings that sparkled in the afternoon light. Kate had the gentlest smile that made her look like a real-life angel. The hospital director, Patricia Wells, was waiting at the front entrance to greet them. She had been practicing what to say for the past hour, but when she saw the royal couple, she felt so nervous that she almost forgot her own name. Prince William shook her hand and thanked her for allowing them to visit the children. Princess Kate hugged Dr. Wells and said she was honored to be at such a wonderful hospital. Prince William told Dr. Wells that they did not want any fancy ceremonies or long speeches. They had come to spend time with the children, and that was the most important thing to them. Princess Kate said they wanted to make the visit as special as possible for the boys and girls who were fighting so hard to get better. As they walked through the hospital corridors, other patients and visitors stopped to stare in amazement. Nobody could believe that real royalty was walking through their hospital. Prince William and Princess Kate stopped to talk to everyone they met along the way. They shook hands with doctors and nurses and asked about their work at the hospital. When they reached the elevator to go up to the 4th floor, Princess Kate noticed a little old lady sitting in a wheelchair. The lady looked very surprised to see them. Kate walked over and knelt down beside the wheelchair. She asked the lady how she was feeling and if there was anything she needed. The old lady started crying happy tears and said she never thought she would meet a real princess in her whole life. Prince William talked to a young father who was waiting outside the surgery room. The man looked very worried about his wife, who was having an operation. William put his hand on the man's shoulder and told him that everything would be okay. He said the doctors at St. Mary's were some of the best in the world, and his wife was in good hands. The security team followed behind them, but they stayed far away, so the royal couple could have private conversations with people. The guards were amazed at how kind and caring Prince William and Princess Kate were to everyone they met. This was not just a duty visit for them. They really cared about making people feel better. When they finally reached the children's cancer ward on the 4th floor, Sarah Jenkins was waiting for them. Sarah had changed into her best nurse uniform, and she felt more nervous than she had ever felt in her life. Her hands were shaking as she opened the door to welcome them to her ward. Princess Kate immediately thanked Sarah for taking such good care of the sick children. She said she knew that nurses like Sarah were the real heroes who helped children get better every single day. Prince William asked Sarah to tell them about the children they would be meeting and what would make each child happiest during their visit. The moment had finally arrived, and the entire hospital seemed to hold its breath with excitement. Sarah Jenkins knew she had to be very careful about how she told the children about the royal visit. Some of the kids were too sick to handle big excitement and others needed their rest. But she also knew that good news could be the best medicine sometimes. She decided to start with the children who were feeling a little better that morning. 8-year-old Emma Martinez was sitting in her hospital bed, looking very sad. Emma had been fighting leukemia for 6 months now. Her beautiful dark hair had fallen out from the medicine, and she wore a pink knitted hat that her grandmother made for her. Emma had not smiled or laughed in 3 whole weeks. She just stared out the window most days and barely ate her food. Nurse Claire walked into Emma's room with a big smile on her face. She sat down on the edge of the bed and whispered something very special in Emma's ear. Claire told Emma that 2 very important people were coming to visit the hospital that afternoon. She said they were a real prince and princess who wanted to meet brave children like Emma. Emma looked at Claire with wide eyes. She had always loved fairy tales about princes and princesses, but she never thought she would meet real ones. Emma asked Claire if the princess would be wearing a beautiful dress and a crown. Claire told Emma that the princess was very kind and beautiful and loved to talk to children about their dreams and hopes. For the first time in weeks, Emma sat up straight in her bed. She asked Claire if she could brush her teeth and put on her favorite pajamas with the unicorns on them. Claire was so happy to see Emma showing interest in something that she helped her get ready right away. Emma even asked for some lip balm to make her lips shiny. In the room next door, 10-year-old James Thompson was doing his physical therapy exercises. James had lost his left leg to bone cancer 2 months ago. He was learning to use a new artificial leg that the doctors had made specially for him. James was a very brave boy, but some days he felt angry about what had happened to him. When James heard about the royal visit, he got very excited. He had heard that Prince William used to fly helicopters and rescue people. James thought that was the coolest job in the whole world. He asked his physical therapist if he could practice walking with his new leg extra hard, so he could show the prince how strong he was. James spent the next hour walking back and forth in the therapy room. He wanted to be able to walk without his crutches when the prince and princess arrived. His physical therapist was amazed at how hard James was working. She had never seen him so determined to get better. Down the hall, 12-year-old Aisha Patel was the quietest child in the whole ward. Aisha had been very sick from her cancer treatments, and she barely spoke to anyone except her parents. She spent most of her time drawing pictures of castles and princesses in her art book. The chemotherapy had made her very weak and tired. When Aisha's mother heard about the royal visit, she gently told her daughter the good news. Aisha looked up from her drawing with surprise in her eyes. She asked her mother if Princess Kate really lived in a castle and wore beautiful dresses every day. Her mother smiled and said that the princess was coming to meet special children like Aisha. Aisha quietly asked if she could wear her best dress for the visit. It was a blue dress with flowers on it that she had worn to her cousin's wedding before she got sick. Her mother was so happy to see Aisha interested in something that she immediately called Aisha's father to bring the dress from home. The news spread through the family waiting room too. Parents who had been worried and scared about their children's health suddenly had something wonderful to look forward to. Some mothers started crying happy tears. Some fathers called their families to share the incredible news. The hospital staff worked together like never before. Everyone wanted to make sure the children would have the most amazing day possible. The maintenance crew polished all the floors until they sparkled. The kitchen staff planned special treats and snacks. Even the security guards practiced their best smiles. By noon, the entire children's ward was buzzing with excitement and hope. Sarah Jenkins woke up at 5:30 in the morning like she did every day for the past 15 years. She was the head nurse at St. Mary's Hospital in the children's cancer ward. Sarah always started her day early because she wanted to check on all the sick children before the doctors arrived. She made her coffee in the small kitchen and looked out the window at the gray London sky. It looked like it might rain again. The children's cancer ward was on the 4th floor of the hospital. Sarah walked through the quiet hallways with her coffee mug in her hands. She could hear the soft peeping of machines and the gentle breathing of sleeping children. Some nights were harder than others. Last week they had lost little Tommy, who was only 6 years old. His bed was still empty, and it made Sarah feel sad every time she walked past it. Sarah went to her office and sat down at her desk. She had many papers to read and schedules to organize. The phone rang at exactly 6:15 in the morning. Sarah thought it was probably Dr. Wilson calling about one of the patients. She picked up the phone and said hello in her usual cheerful voice. The voice on the other end was not Dr. Wilson. It was a woman with a very proper accent who said she was calling from Kensington Palace. Sarah almost dropped her coffee mug. She thought someone was playing a joke on her. Nobody from a palace would call a hospital nurse at 6 in the morning. The woman explained that Prince William and Princess Kate wanted to visit the children's cancer ward that very same day. They had heard about the difficult times the hospital was going through and wanted to bring some happiness to the sick children. Sarah could not believe what she was hearing. She asked the woman to repeat everything 3 times to make sure she understood correctly. The palace lady told Sarah that the prince and princess would arrive at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They did not want any big ceremony or fancy decorations. They just wanted to spend time with the children and make them smile. Sarah wrote down all the important information on a piece of paper with shaking hands. After she hung up the phone, Sarah sat in her chair for 5 whole minutes without moving. She stared at the piece of paper and read the words over and over again. Prince William and Princess Kate were really coming to visit her hospital ward. The children who had been so sad and tired would get to meet real royalty. Sarah knew she had to tell her team right away, but she also knew they would not believe her at first. She called her assistant nurse Claire and asked her to come to the office immediately. When Claire arrived, Sarah showed her the paper and told her about the phone call. Claire looked at Sarah like she had lost her mind. Claire said there was no way real princes and princesses would visit their small hospital ward. Sarah called the number the palace lady had given her. When someone answered and confirmed the visit, Claire sat down in the chair with her mouth wide open. They were both so shocked they could not speak for a moment. Sarah realized they had less than 8 hours to prepare for the most important visit in the hospital's history. She made a list of everything they needed to do. They had to tell the other nurses and doctors. They had to decide which children were well enough to meet the royal visitors. They had to make the ward look as nice as possible. The 2 nurses started making phone calls to everyone who worked on their floor. Each person they called had the same reaction. First, they thought it was a joke, then they got very excited, then they started asking a million questions about what they should do. By 7:30 in the morning, the entire hospital knew about the royal visit. The cleaning staff started working extra hard to make everything sparkle. The kitchen staff began planning special snacks. Even the security guards were walking around with bigger smiles on their faces. Sarah looked at her watch and realized she had been the luckiest nurse in London that morning. In just a few hours, Prince William and Princess Kate would walk through her ward and bring joy to children who needed it more than anything else in the world. She took a deep breath and got ready for the most amazing day of her nursing career.